Hi, my name is Lori Krause with Music Revolt. Today I'm here with Hank Griffin from Griffin, Flink, and Watson, a law firm in Branson, Missouri. Hank, will you discuss with us the difference between the AT&T and T-Mobile merger disallowance and the music industry?
Sure, Lori. The difference is that the government regulates some industries, such as phone companies, such as airlines, and many other industries, based on the idea that competition is what is needed, and if you stifle competition by allowing monopolies or mergers that create a monopoly or similar to a monopoly, that's bad. It stifles competition. In the music industry, for decades, there have been just a very few players, and it's, although not a monopoly, close to a monopoly, and the government seems to be oblivious to competition in the music industry, unlike these other industries where they focus on antitrust issues.
The Department of Justice is targeting Apple and Amazon for ebook price fixing. Why do you think that the government is targeting them and not the music industry?
Lori, that's an excellent question. The music industry traditionally has not been particularly disrupted, if you will. They've certainly engaged in activities that the Department of Justice could have gotten involved in. Before your time, there was a payola scandal where they were paying disc jockeys to play things on the radio, and subsequently there has been connections with organized crime within the music industry and the music industry giants. But for whatever reason, the Department of Justice has allowed practices within the music industry that certainly I would view as stifling competition or even some price fixing that in other industries they don't allow.
Our country was founded on the principles of a free market economy. With the internet allowing us to have an infinite amount of music, do you think that we need to reevaluate this?
Another very good question, Lori. The free market economy was based on laws of supply and demand, and that's changed somewhat with the internet, and particularly in the music industry, but it's also applicable to books or videos or any digital items that are available on the internet. It's totally disrupted your normal costs of production and distribution and so forth because they're very minimal, if any, via the internet. What would make sense to me is that we took a look at it as a whole with this type of product, if you will, rather than piecemeal it. Right now it's being piecemealed. Books, for instance, with Amazon and the actions against Amazon and the price fixing there are one thing. But with music, if the price is set at 99 cents to download a particular song, apparently this price fixing, if you will, is permissible, and it doesn't make sense to me why they should be treated differently.
Well, thank you, Hank, for joining us today. We really appreciate it. Is there anything else that you'd like to share with us?
Well, first of all, I'd like to thank you, Lori, for having me here with you. There's a couple of books that if people also have an interest in the history and potentially the future of the music business, there's a book called Hitman by Frederick Danon. And this goes through the history of the music industry back to the rock and roll era when rock and roll was playing on the radio stations. And it talks about the connections between the music industry and organized crime and how certain organizations like the Network, which was affiliated with some rather coercive marketing techniques, affected the industry through the years. There's another book, Lori, that if reading about some of the things that happened in the past is a little bit depressing, maybe a little bit more uplifting. It's called The Future of Music, and it's by David Guzik and Gerd Leonard. And it gives some insight into what may be done potentially in the future. But I think Music Revolt is a fine organization. They've got the real interests of musicians, artists, composers, and others in the industry at heart. So I commend you for what you're doing. Thank you.
Thank you.